The crescent moon, is it really hanging high in the sky? Or has it always been resting quietly in the palm of your hand without you noticing? This question may sound poetic at first, but its meaning reaches into the deepest part of your awareness. The crescent moon is not distant. It is not beyond reach. It is the symbol of something forming, something rising, something not yet complete, but undeniably alive. A cycle beginning again. It mirrors the inner movements happening within your life right now, the parts you don't fully see yet but can feel. The silent shifts that hint at the next version of you, waiting for your attention. As time moves forward, people around the world will seek answers. Many will chase control. Many will run toward noise, activity, speed, stimulation. But a different kind of person will feel something else. A pull inward, a reminder to pause, to breathe, to listen. Those who return to stillness will sense a new kind of clarity emerging, not through effort, not through force, but through presence. On the ancient inner path, nothing is separate. The outer world and the inner world reflect each other. They move together, so when change arrives, and it will, the real question is never whether you are prepared. The real question is whether you are awake. Life is accelerating. The world is shifting at a speed that few can keep up with. And those who continue walking unconsciously will overlook the most important transformations. Transformations that do not shout, but whisper. They appear beneath the noise, in the rhythm of your breath, in the quiet between thoughts. Ahead of you lies a set of truths, not predictions, not prophecies, but possibilities. Each one acts like a mirror. Some will reflect who you are right now. Others will reveal who you are being quietly shaped into. And the fact that you are here, listening, reading, breathing with these words, is not accidental. It is already the beginning of something deeper. Noise will rise faster than before, faster than most people will even notice. The world will demand more and more of your attention. Notifications, conflicts, temptations, fears, pleasures, everything louder, everything faster, everything designed to pull you away from your center. But silence never disappears. It waits patiently. It waits for you. Those who rely on circumstances to give them peace will struggle. Because the world is not designed to remain calm. It is designed to move, evolve, erupt, and transform. If you expect the noise to fade, you will grow tired and bitter. But those who train themselves to return inward will develop a different kind of strength. One that does not depend on external conditions. Not a strength of the muscles, not a strength of dominating others, but the strength to sit in the middle of chaos and not become part of it. The ancient teachings never asked the world to be quiet. They instructed the seeker to listen deeper. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the anxiety, beneath the emotional currents, there is a space, calm, unmoving, steady. That space is your responsibility to cultivate. It does not grow by accident. It grows through practice. Sit before the day begins. Breathe before you speak. Watch your thoughts rise like smoke and dissolve just as easily. In those moments, you are not escaping the world. You are returning to it with a mind that is your own. Most people react to life. The one who trains themselves receives life, understands it, and responds with wisdom rather than impulse. As time unfolds, this difference will become crucial. The volume of the world will increase. People will react quickly, quick to anger, quick to scroll, quick to complain, quick to judge, and slow to reflect. But you do not have to move like the rest. The quiet within you must be earned, maintained, and protected from the outside world. For once you find that quiet, nothing external can steal it. Distraction is not an accident, it is craft. It is aimed at your habits, your weaknesses, your impulses. And in the coming times, it will become even more precise. Technologies will anticipate your fears before they surface. Devices will offer escape before you even recognize discomfort. Attention will become the new currency, and most people will spend it unconsciously. But there is another path. It begins in silence. It begins with the understanding that time is not something you simply pass through. It is something you shape through awareness, discipline, and intention. Every hour you lose to distraction becomes a mirror of your inner state. Every moment wasted is a reflection of your training. There is a principle that says, how you do anything is how you do everything. This is not poetry, it is a warning. The way you sit, the way you breathe, the way you fold your clothes or rise from a chair, these small acts reveal your structure. The details are honest. You may speak of goals, of dreams, of purpose, but your behaviors reveal the truth. Discipline is not forged in grand moments. It is born from repetition, from the unseen hours, from the moments no one acknowledges, from the simple habits that define your character without your awareness. And the world, with all its speed and chaos, will force you to make a choice again and again. Drift with the current, or learn to stand steady in the middle of it. Those who fail to master their time will be mastered by distraction. They will be pulled around like leaves in the wind, scattered, overwhelmed, confused. They will wonder why peace never visits them. But the disciplined person moves through time with precision, calm, steady, intentional. Their life becomes a blade, clean, aligned, deliberate. Comfort is a subtle poison. It appears gentle, harmless, peaceful. It disguises itself as safety and rest. But comfort, when unchecked, becomes decay. It softens the mind, it numbs the soul, it hides the shadow of unfulfilled potential. We are taught to avoid discomfort, to numb it, distract it, escape it. But pain, physical, emotional, or spiritual, is a messenger. It has always spoken honestly. Physical pain warns the body. Emotional pain reveals misalignment. Spiritual pain exposes what is false within you. And soon, the avoidance of discomfort will reach a breaking point. People will feel it late at night in their breath, in their restlessness. When the screen goes dark and the noise fades, the truth appears. And in that moment, comfort will no longer protect anyone. A different kind of person will emerge, the one who does not run from discomfort, the one who stops asking, how do I escape this? And instead asks, what is this trying to show me? That person will begin to see clearly. Pain is not an enemy. Pain is a signal. Pain is a guide. Pain is the invitation to your next evolution. And those who listen will rise. Control is intoxicating. It makes you believe that if you hold everything tightly enough, life will finally cooperate. It gives the illusion of stability, the comfort of predictability. But control is built upon fear, the fear that if you loosen your grip, everything will fall apart. So, you cling to outcomes, you cling to timelines, you cling to people and expectations. You grip so tightly that your hands begin to ache. You call it responsibility, you call it discipline, you call it being prepared. But beneath all of it lies a quiet panic that you rarely acknowledge. And soon that structure, this illusion of control, begins to crack. Not because you failed, but because the world was never meant to bend to your will. It moves according to its own rhythm, and the harder you push, the more resistance you feel. This is not punishment. An invitation to shift, to see, to understand, to act not out of desperation, but out of clarity. Control demands answers. Clarity asks better questions. Control rushes. Clarity pauses. Control fears stillness. Clarity listens inside it. There is a kind of ancient strength in that pause, the kind that warriors once lived by, the kind that gave them the ability to move without hesitation because their mind was already still. They did not strike from impulse, they acted from understanding. They waited until their inner world matched the moment. And this principle is more important now than ever before, because the modern world worships movement without meaning. Quick conclusions, quick reactions, quick decisions, movement for the sake of easing fear. But chosen stillness is not weakness. It is mastery. It's the refusal to act when your mind is not aligned. It's the refusal to speak when silence has more truth. It's the refusal to chase when clarity requires you to stop. When you embrace this, your actions no longer come from fear. They come from vision. As time accelerates, many will panic as their grip slips. They will try harder, push more, blame louder, break faster. But a few will do something radically different. They will breathe. They will watch. They will listen. They will ask not, how do I fix this fast? But what is this moment teaching me? And from that question, a new path opens. One built on awareness rather than reaction. This kind of awareness becomes vital as everything in life speeds up. Change no longer moves in steps, it moves in leaps. Systems collapse, new ideas explode overnight, identities blur, and direction becomes harder to hold on to. But there is one rhythm that has been with you since the moment you were born. One thread that has never left your side, no matter how the world has transformed. Your breath. The breath is not trivial. It is not random. It is not just the body's fuel. It is your anchor. It is the only function that is both automatic and controllable. That dual nature matters more than you think. Because it means your breath is the doorway between the unconscious and the conscious. The bridge between the animal within and the master you are becoming. The way you breathe tells your entire body what reality is. Fast breath says, prepare to fight. Shallow breath says, something is wrong. Slow, deep breath says, you are safe. You are here. You are awake in a world addicted to chaos. The person who controls their breath controls themselves. And the one who controls themselves controls their life. People often ask, how do I stay focused? How do I stay disciplined? How do I remain present? And the answer always begins with breath. Not because breath solves everything, but because breath puts you back into the only place transformation occurs, the present moment. Everything real happens here. Not in your fears, not in your memories, not in your fantasies. Here, where your next decision is formed. The breath is the rope that pulls you out of the storm. The breath is the hand that steadies your mind. The breath is the teacher that reminds you that clarity is not found in speed but in presence. And while the world pulls you in 1,000 directions, each breath brings you back into one point, your center. Stillness has been misunderstood. People confuse stillness with inactivity, laziness, or avoidance. But true stillness is none of those things. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the mastery of it. It is the moment where your mind stops grasping, where noise loses its power, where you observe the world without being consumed by it. As life becomes louder, faster, and more chaotic, stillness will become a necessity, not a luxury, not a spiritual concept, a survival skill. The one who cannot pause will drown in noise. The one who can stop, breathe, observe will thrive. Stillness breaks the cycle of unconscious reaction. It gives your mind room to see clearly. It lets your inner truth rise to the surface. This is why ancient warriors sat in silence for hours. Not because they were avoiding life, but because they refused to be ruled by the storms inside their own minds. They knew that the true enemy was not outside. It was the uncontrolled inner world. And when they mastered that, they became unshakable. In modern life, this mastery looks simple. Pausing before replying, breathing before reacting, observing before assuming, reflecting before deciding. Small moments, powerful transformations. Digital life, once a convenience, has now become a burden for many. Screens, notifications, constant input, all pulling your mind away from your body, all dividing your attention into fragments too small to build anything meaningful. And the body feels the consequences. The mind may scroll endlessly, but the body still lives here, in this moment, in this room, in this breath. And when it is ignored for too long, a deep exhaustion sets in. An exhaustion not from effort, but from disconnection. In the coming shift, people will feel this. They will feel the weight of being overstimulated yet undernourished. The tiredness of being mentally busy yet spiritually empty. This is the turning point. You will begin to crave the physical. Not for performance or appearance, but for return. You will crave touching the earth with your feet. You will crave the rhythm of walking without purpose. You will crave stretching just to feel your body alive again. You will crave movement not for achievement but for grounding. Posture will matter again, not for aesthetics but for energy, for presence, for alignment. You will notice how the way you sit affects the way you think, how the way you breathe shapes what you believe is possible, how the way you move influences the way you feel. This is not regression, it is remembering. Remembering that your body is not separate from your mind. Remembering that movement anchors clarity. Remembering that routine is not oppression, it is medicine. Daily rituals, waking, walking, cleaning, cooking, will become sacred again. Because they bring you back to yourself. They reconnect you with the rhythms that modern life has blurred. They steady you. They remind you that you are not a machine, you are a living being. And this return to physical presence will change everything. Motivation will lose its charm. Inspiration alone will not be enough. People will be full of quotes, full of ideas, full of information, yet still stuck. Because motivation without action becomes noise. Knowledge without embodiment becomes weight. And weight, when carried too long, feels like suffering. The gap between what you know and what you live will become impossible to ignore. True change will require something different, something real, application, practice, embodiment. The ancient path was never about collecting wisdom. It was about becoming the wisdom. You do not transform by knowing more, you transform by living differently, by letting your actions reflect what your heart already knows. This is the truth that will rise. Your habits must now match your knowledge. Your behavior must align with your truth. Your choices must reflect your deeper self. Otherwise, the wisdom you gather will turn heavy inside you. Only those who live the teachings will rise. There is a quiet voice within you. It does not shout, it does not argue, it does not try to convince you, it simply knows. You have felt it before, in rare moments of clarity, when the mind becomes still enough to hear what the heart has been whispering all along. You felt it in situations where the energy of a place suddenly shifted, or when a person's smile felt warm while another's felt hollow. You felt it when a decision looked logical on the surface, but something inside tugged you in another direction. For years, many people ignored this inner voice, drowned it beneath noise, silenced it with endless stimulation and busyness. But the time ahead will make this voice impossible to ignore, because the external world is becoming louder than ever, while the inner world becomes more sensitive, more awake, more truthful. Your intuition is not becoming louder. The noise around it is becoming unbearable. The body speaks before the mind interprets. You walk into a room and feel heavy. You read a message and your breath changes. You think of a person and your chest tightens or softens. In the coming shift, people will reveal themselves not through their words, but through the energy they carry. A smile that drains you. A compliment that feels cold, a conversation that leaves you foggy instead of clear. Your intuition catches these subtleties long before logic can explain them. And if you learn to honor what you feel, your steps will change. You will begin distancing yourself from people who exhaust your spirit. You will gravitate toward those who feel steady, grounded, real. You will begin choosing habits that elevate your clarity rather than dim it. Because every action you take, what you watch, what you eat, who you follow, who you allow near your mind, carries a frequency. Nothing you consume is neutral. Nothing you repeat is without consequence. The margin for unconscious living is becoming thin. You will no longer be able to hide from the truth of your patterns. If a habit weakens you, your body will tell you. If a person confuses your spirit, your breath will reveal it. If a thought is draining your strength, your posture will reflect it. The ancient path always taught that clarity is not found by thinking harder, but by returning to presence again and again until truth becomes undeniable. And in that presence, everything becomes visible. What nourishes you, what drains you, what is real, what is false, what aligns, what pulls you away from yourself. You will no longer need explanations. You will simply know. And when you begin honoring that knowing, your life will shift quietly but powerfully. There is a myth that chaos brings freedom. Many chase a lifestyle with no boundaries, no structure, no routine. They believe that discipline restricts them, that schedules limit creativity, that consistency is a form of confinement. But chaos dressed as freedom eventually becomes confusion. Too many options become paralysis. No structure becomes disorder. No direction becomes inner collapse. True freedom is not the absence of discipline. True freedom is built by it. Discipline is the vessel that allows your power to have form. It gives shape to your intentions. It gives direction to your potential. It turns your energy into something that can be held, used, and applied. 2. Without discipline, your best ideas scatter. Your potential never matures. Your gifts remain unrealized. This is why those committed to growth wake even when they feel tired. They train even when it is inconvenient. They reflect even when it is uncomfortable. Not because they enjoy difficulty, but because they understand what is at stake. They are not trying to control the world. They are building themselves so they can walk through the world without breaking. And once the vessel is built, once the inner structure is strong, you can pour anything into it. Ambition, creativity, power, resilience. Nothing spills, nothing is wasted. This is the paradox. Discipline creates the freedom you seek. Without it, you drift. With it, you rise. The crescent moon, always appearing distant, always seeming just beyond reach, may not be as far as it looks. What if it has always been resting softly in your palm, unseen only because your hand was shaking? Life ahead will not reward hesitation. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will demand presence, clarity, and steadiness. Events may be beyond your control, but your response, that sacred inner space, that is where your transformation lives. The real question is not what the world will do. The real question is, who will you choose to become when it happens? The world will try to pull you into distraction. Will you allow it, or will you protect your mind? The world will tempt you with noise. Will you collapse into fear or move through it with understanding? The world will offer you endless shallow choices. Will you grasp at everything or steady your hand and touch only what matters? Because the crescent moon, the symbol of your becoming, has always been in your hand. It only becomes visible when your hand becomes still. If you walk the path reveals itself, but you must take the first step, and then the next, and then the next. Growth arrives not through intensity, but through consistency. Not through perfection, but through presence. Not through force, but through alignment. And now, your journey continues. Engagement line Shi Hong Yi style. Calm, wise, respectful. If this message touched something inside you, breathe. Reflect. And when you are ready, support this path by liking this video, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing for more teachings. Your presence strengthens this community. Shaolin Wisdom Talks. Walk with clarity. Walk with discipline. Walk with inner stillness.